Hey, this is Geoff Rickley.
Radio Cardiff 98.7 FM.
Hey, I'm Morgan Richards from Radio Cardiff from 98.7 FM. I'm very pleased to say that I'm joined in the studio today by the wonderful Geoff Rickley of the former Thursday.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Hey man, you right?
Yeah, I'm great. It's good to be here in Cardiff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, how's things?
Things are great, man. Like, this is the second day of the tour. Last night was amazing. We played Easter Sunday in Southampton, and that was funny because, anybody that came out was, making jokes about how this was their Easter holiday with family with us, so it was really good. Yeah, just happy to be here.
Okay. Right, well, fair enough. So, Geoff, as you said, you're currently in the UK doing a very special acoustic basement tour presented by the Vans Warped Tour.
Right.
Where after your band Thursday broke up of a hiatus in 2011, you never really had a chance to say a proper goodbye to the fans on Thursday. So this is really your chance to say goodbye to the fans with this tour.
Yeah, exactly. In the States, when I tour solo, I play a lot of the stuff that I give away for free on my website. I have a couple mixtapes, and I play a lot of that stuff live. But over here, I wanted to learn a bunch of Thursday songs to play because I never did get that chance to say goodbye. And so over here it's a little more important for me to play those songs a last time for people. And we just had a wedding. Tom from Thursday just got married right before I left for tour, and it was supposed to be our first time seeing each other since the last show, and half the guys didn't show up. So it's kind of all right, yeah, Thursday's definitely not playing. You know what I mean? It's that was sort of going to be the test, I think. If the wedding goes well, then maybe we'll play. Maybe, who knows, maybe if Coachella asks us and we get together and the wedding's cool, then yeah, maybe we'll play, No, not gonna happen. So it was more important to me to do Thursday songs over here.
Yeah. Okay, well, fair enough. Because really the hiatus and then the breakup of Thursday happened really fast. So there was no chance of people just take it all in for the last time.
That's right. Yeah, we we didn't do a farewell tour. We had I think 15 shows booked after we broke up. So we decided let's just finish those rather than leave all the promoters high and dry. Let's just finish that up and then we'll be done. But nothing new. No long world tour of goodbye. It was just we had a very painful breakup that we didn't talk about. So we kept it very polite, but it was you're together with somebody for 15 years and then it ends as badly as this ended, and it was very difficult. So it's not something that any of us talk about, but there was a lot of there's just a lot of hardship involved with it. So we just kind of kept that to ourselves. We figured, we were always a band that bared our soul and everything. We just finally knew it was time to not say anything. This was the time to let people have their memories of the band and not taint it with us fighting with each other or anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. It seemed more important. So that was cool. I'm glad we did that.
Okay. Right, fair enough. But it is great that you can actually come over here and say goodbye yourself to the Thursday songs and for people, because obviously over the last couple of years a lot of bands have broken up and just not had the chance for anyone to really say their goodbyes and stuff. But this is kind of really your own version of a farewell tour. Yeah,
exactly. For anybody who really loved the band, we had so many people who had I have a Thursday dove tattooed, and it meant something. It meant the world to them, and those people I want to be able to say hi, have a pint with them, and just kind of catch up, just sort of catch up before, going about the rest of my life.
And of course, you're playing some of your favourite songs from Thursday as well as some of your other stuff acoustically and electronically. We're all different versions of those Thursday songs.
Yeah, that's right. It's, we were a six-piece, and so sometimes the keyboard would be the lead element. Sometimes the two guitars playing back and forth would be the lead part. Sometimes there'd be two vocal parts that would play off each other. So it's one person with the guitar just can't do that. So sometimes I've tried to make it into an electronic version. Sometimes I've stripped it down to almost nothing and left out half the song and tried to retain the soul of it. So these aren't really the songs played faithfully, but it's what I think of when I think of them. So, that's kind of how it is.
Okay, right, fair enough. And of course, these small intimate shows are really a one-time thing, and then after them, you'll be moving on, starting many more new projects.
That's right. Yes.
And one of those projects at the moment you've been doing a lot of free music on your website of really mixtapes.
Yeah, the free mixtapes are great. It's just a chance to do something totally different each time. And Don from a band called Ink and Dagger, he's helped record all of them with me. He's been in a bunch of bands. He's been in Icarus Line. He's been in Vietnam. He's been a bunch of great, really cool bands, Amazing Baby. So it's been cool to have a collaborator to make just noise, just really screw things up and make them sound crazy. Because it's free, I can kind of do whatever I want from time to time, and just anybody who doesn't like it, it's well, it was free, man, just throw it out. You know what I mean? Just throw it out if you don't like it. It's cool. I'm doing what I want to do. And it's really exciting for me, especially now that, in a weird way, Thursday has become a band at the time we were just the people's band, we were just like for the kids and for everybody. But now, like looking back, all these other bands are like, that was the band, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like bands like Death Heaven, who are like, like sort of like the toast of like the town. Everybody loves these bands, like all the hipster bands, all the Pitchfork writers, they all love Thursday. Thursday was like their band. So it's like funny to see this band that at the time was just for everyone. It was for everyone. It was not hip. It was just for everyone. But now it's like become more underground again, and it's become sort of like, if you know about it and you know why it was special, then it's like you're part of a group, a small group, and that's kind of cool. So like a lot of these tapes are for those like people, who have gotten into really artsy stuff through Thursday. Yeah, it's really fun. I have that, and then I have United Nations too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a new record coming out on Temporary Residence, which is the label that does Explosions in the Sky and Young Widows and Mono and all these really great post-rock bands. But we're all our songs are like 2 minutes long and blast beats and crazy, and they're all like taking the piss a bit. So it's fun.
Okay.
It's kind of, I used to call it the opposite of Thursday. It's like where Thursday was all about compassion, this is all like a satire. It's all about poking fun and poking holes in like culture.
Yeah.
Because culture has gone a bit crazy in the last few years.
All right. Well, awesome. And of course, as you said, you're always up to new projects, even if it's writing, forming another supergroup, or even featuring on someone else's material. And as you said there, one of your other bands, United Nations, is really expected to release a second full-length studio album a little bit later on in 2014.
That's right, yeah. And it's actually being released as a box set. So the idea is it's all the 7 inches that got banned, because we were actually sued by the United Nations. So we tried releasing a lot of music all over the world. We were successful in some parts. We did a cassette called Illegal UN, and we had a Serious Business 7-inch that was banned in Russia. So it's like basically all the banned music that we've ever tried to get out there in the last couple of years put together on one album. And it actually, like, it totally works. For some reason, it sounds like a full length. So that's the way we're releasing it. Okay. Nobody's ever heard, people have heard maybe 3 songs that have been ripped off of a cassette. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's totally new to everybody.
Okay.
And so if you buy the vinyl version, it'll actually be the original releases in a box. So it's kind of cool that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough. And you actually started another, almost kind of a super group, Stranglelight, at the end of last year in 2013, where you released your debut EP titled 9 Days, where you literally, you guys just got together for over a week just writing material and recorded it in the basement, really.
Yeah, no, that was great. We did that way before Thursday broke up. That was released maybe 2 years after we recorded it. So that was cool. It was with members of like Red Sparrows, Made Out of Babies, all these different like sort of art metal bands. And it just sounds like kind of like a heavier Fugazi. Like we wanted to do really heavy Fugazi stuff. That was really fun. Like that's nothing's going to come of that, but it was just an awesome thing to do. And, the first song on there, Split and Divide, I think is like a really amazing track. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Okay, right, awesome. And as I said, you're always up to new stuff all the time, really, with many projects. And over the last couple of months and weeks, there's been a rumor going around that you're going to be doing some work with the remaining original members of the Welsh legends who are Lostprophets.
Right.
But I understand you're taking more of a record label kind of work with them rather than the rumors of you actually going to be joining the band.
Right, yeah. So I started a label a couple years ago called Collect Records, and the first thing I put out was Touche Amore, their first record. And that was like an amazing thing to have as a first record, because that band has gone on to do so much. And then I kind of like let it lie dormant for a few years, and I had an investor say like, hey, if I gave you the money to actually do this, would you do it? And I was like, yeah, I'd definitely do it. So I started hiring a staff. I hired Norman from Texas Is the Reason. They were legends. I hired Norman to be my label manager. We started looking for offices. We're opening a UK office, and we're going to do some amazing things, man. I'm really excited. We're doing a 7-inch from Saves the Day, I think. We're doing a 7-inch from Touche. I think we're doing one with Title Fight. We're doing a whole bunch of 7-inches. We're doing a band called Weekend, one called Nothing, all these amazing bands. And so I've been talking to the remaining members of that band because they're really good guys, and I want to be a part of what they do. I want to be a part of their second chance, because like people don't really think of what happens to the other members, but that took away their life, like they had to give up their career. They had to give up everything that they had worked for 15, 17 years for. They had no idea this was going on. It hit them so hard. Like I would talk to them on days they wouldn't want to get out of bed, and they're all fathers, like what happened is just devastating for them. So yeah, I'm really like, those guys, you know, here in Wales, like so many people have personal interaction with those guys and know that like people like Stu and Mike and Lee, like they are such good people. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've heard that rumor too, but like it's been my honor to like work with them on their new bands from like a label perspective, you know, and it's just so good, man. People are not going to know what hit them when the new stuff comes out. It's like everything I grew up on, like a little bit of New Order, a little bit of Joy Division, a little bit of The Cure. Like it's just so forward thinking, and it also like all the roots are everything that I've ever loved from goth music, and it's really cool, man. I think like, you know, if there was ever a group of people that needed a second chance, it was those guys, and they're going to take full advantage of it, you know. Like I'm really proud of them.
Yeah.
So
well, it is really great to hear that you've given those guys, you know, a second chance with everything that has happened. Of course, we can't get too into that, but, but you've been friends with those guys for many years now as well. It's
funny. I've only been friends with the other members. Like I never knew the main guy.
Yeah, of course.
He was always a bit of a rock star to me, so I just kind of stayed clear.
Yeah.
But like the other guys are, you know, share a beer with you, say, you know, just talk about music, talk about life, talk about your family. You know, like I think a bunch of us were all the guys that got married real young on the road. And like, so the party lifestyle wasn't for us, you know, and that was it. We would kind of stick together, all the family men. I got married, you know, 25. So it was like, you know, that was just it. You know, I didn't want to go out late partying. It wasn't my thing. But yeah, they're good people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, great. And now just a couple more things, Geoff, before you go. Obviously, as we mentioned, you're basically busy all the time doing one thing or another with music. And after this tour, now you're going to be very busy, of course, with some of your other bands. But can we expect anything else from you in the near future? Or
yeah, I mean, solo. You know, I've been talking to Equal Vision about doing something like a full record of solo stuff, which is funny because I have my own label that I'm starting now. But I had been talking to them before this happened, and you know, they're a great label. They're putting out my friend Brian Marquis, who I'm here with, and yeah, man, I love making things, creating things. It's really, that's for me the joy. Is like at one point I realized like it is the hardest thing in the world to make a living at music. It's impossible. I live in New York City. It's impossible, you know. My girlfriend's an artist too. It's like, you know, it's just like impossible to make a living. But the beauty is you get to make stuff every day of your life, and that's like what I cling to. Is I just make things all the time. It's so cool.
Okay, well, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, that's about it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here today. I'm so psyched to play tonight.
Yeah, well, cheers, Geoff, for coming in and doing the interview and the quick session.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah,
Good
luck with the show tonight and the rest of the tour, and hopefully I can catch up with you again very soon.
Yeah, sounds good. All right.
All right, cheers, man.
Take care.